Main screen on.
You pick up your palette knife and then work that into your meat. Give your meat a good old rub. That's it. Nice and hot. Hot and spicy meat. Yeah, boy.
This may come as a surprise to some, but Mothra is actually the most popular supporting character of the Godzilla franchise among female audiences in Japan, and women are over half of all the moviegoers in that country, and pretty much everywhere actually. So when it was suggested for Godzilla vs King Ghidorah to be followed by yet another movie featuring the eponymous three-headed villain, the idea was quickly scrapped in favor of the Queen of the Monsters' return. Just like with Godzilla, Mothra's comeback faced no shortage of shortcomings before becoming a reality. It started its life in the 1980s as a solo movie starring the character. But unlike its peer counterpart, Toho felt that she would be difficult to market overseas, so the project never went ahead. In 1990, after the financial failure of Godzilla vs. Biollante, Kazuki Omori would start rewriting the screenplay for said movie, just for the project to be shut down another time in the wake of Godzilla's current flop. The script would have a third life though, because even though Omori wasn't to return as the director of a fourth Heisei movie, he would still be the writer. So, he seized the opportunity to recycle as many elements as possible from the never-made Mothra movie, giving birth to Godzilla vs. Mothra, also known in the US as Godzilla vs. Mothra: The Battle for Earth, not to be confused with Mothra vs. Godzilla. And if you thought the last movie was trying too hard to keep the franchise's original tone intact all the way through, don't worry, because this one is simply ODing in it. The impact of a huge meteor in the Pacific Ocean triggers a series of events. First of all, as it hits near the Ogasawara Trench, it unleashes earthquakes and typhoons across all of Asia. The reasoning behind the second is still a mystery to me. Most importantly, however, it awakens Godzilla from its slumber, putting Akira Takarada and his crew on high alert. And since I won't have the chance to talk about this guy again, here's a montage of his ridiculous reactions through the movie.
あれはまるで相談してるようだ。海底火山が飲み込んだモスラが。まだホテルに人がいるぞ。国会議事堂へ。局長、モスラが赤坂に向かいます。
そんなところに。
隕石一つが引き金になって、この地球で何が起こってるんだ。ゴジラだ。ゴジラが現れた。一体誰が奴を止められると言うんだ。どうやった。やった。
Gold. The storms caused by the meteor reveal a huge object that was hidden beneath the earth in an Indonesian island. So, under the interest of the company that is developing the place, a crew composed of grave robber Takuya Fujita, his ex-wife Masako Tezuka, and company employee Kenji Ando leave to Infant Island to investigate the object.
森林が守っていた島を人間がこうしてしまったのよ。
Oh, great. It's one of those movies. Also, no. It was the meteor, remember? I don't know how, but it was. While on the island, they discover what seems to be an ancient temple depicting prehistoric images of two-winged creatures. Not only that, but they also find what they came looking for, a gigantic egg on one of the place's cliffsides. The egg belongs to Mothra, as explained to them by two little women that come to their encounter, the Shobijin.
私たちはコスモス。
コスモス。
Oh, that's what we are calling them now? Alright then. The Cosmos are the only survivors of their race, who lived on Earth millennia ago in perfect harmony with Mothra, the protector of the planet. But then came the time they created machines that started consuming Earth's life force, who had to defend itself by giving birth to the creature Mothra. It engaged in a battle against Mothra and the cosmos, only to be defeated and frozen in the Arctic Circle. But if Mothra was the defender of the Earth in the first place, why wasn't her the one to stop the cosmos from destroying the planet? And why did she side with them to stop Mothra? Anyway, the damage the cosmos had done to their environment had already been too extensive, and they were extinct. But now the humans are doing the same thing again, and Mothra may have awakened from its icy sleep as Earth's temperature rises. Or it may have been the meteor. They never make it clear whether it's one or the other. Kenji's boss orders that the egg is taken to Japan, as it may become a lucrative tourist attraction.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
For some reason, the fairies are okay with it, and go with the humans to guarantee the egg remains safe. Meanwhile, Mothra reveals itself swimming towards Japan. And Mothra is not like Mothra. Oh no, it is black and has spikes all over its body. Also, it shoots lasers at the humans as it destroys the city. It is totally brutal. All attempts to stop it using footage from the original Mothra movie are in vain, and the monster makes it to the mainland, where it causes more property damage. Eventually though, it just unexpectedly decides to leave the city, leaving everyone wondering where the hell did it go. In the middle of the ocean, the ship that is towing Mothra has a sudden encounter with none other than Godzilla, who seems furious with the egg. Thankfully, the creature inside hatches just in time to escape the monster's rage. Their following fight is very one-sided though. But if Mothra can't get a dent out of Godzilla, Mothra, who appears right after Godzilla is done with the first caterpillar, fares much better. Their brawl takes the two of them to the bottom of the ocean, where they simply disappear between two tectonic plates. Mothra, meanwhile, simply returns to her home at Infant Island, abandoning the cosmos to their own luck. And luck is what these two don't have, because as soon as he has the chance, Kenji kidnaps the fairies and takes them to his boss, who intends to use the girls to make up for the money lost with the egg. Are you sure you haven't talked about this movie before? I honestly don't know anymore. The cosmos won't just sit around waiting to be rescued though. They order a rescue for themselves, singing for Mothra to come and save them from their captivity, once again putting the lives of countless innocents in danger, but whatever. The giant larva starts making her way through Tokyo with nothing in her path to stop the coming destruction. Meanwhile, Masako and Miki Saigusa start tracking down the fairies using the latter's psychic abilities before it's too late. Yeah, these two have a daughter together. It doesn't really add much to the plot, but it does lead to the best scene in the movie, in which Takuya has to hide from the child he hasn't seen in years, as he and Masako return to Japan. It's honestly heartbreaking. And it culminates in this moment, where Takuya admits he stole the cosmos back from Kenji's boss so he could sell the two to yet another person, except his daughter convinces him that stealing is wrong and that she doesn't want to be the child of a thief. It's all too little too late though, because Mothra reaches their hotel and starts tearing the place down. Bitch, it was you who brought this child here! Before Mothra can kill the one she came to save, the cosmos come to her and manage to calm the creature down, who then promises to leave the city as soon as possible.
。
The monster, who until a couple minutes ago was completely invulnerable to human artillery, now can't stand the barrage of fire being shot at her. Heavily injured, she then cocoons herself next to a building, while preparing for the next stage of her life cycle. A huge crowd awaits to see what will come out of the cocoon when Mount Fuji erupts. From its bowels comes out Godzilla, more furious than ever. If that wasn't enough, Mothra once again emerges from the sea, mutating into an even larger winged monster. And now this monster has even longer spikes, and there is no multicolored bullshit going on like on Mothra. Mothra is still mostly black.
Metal. Pretty metal. Oh, is it?
Thankfully, Mothra hatches from her cocoon as a beautiful plushy moth. She will totally get her ass kicked. The two moth thingies fight over the skies of Tokyo. Mothra's strategy to dodge Mothra's laser for as long as possible only lasts for so long before the heroine is forced to crash land next to the bay. She is only saved by the sudden appearance of Godzilla, who then proceeds into kicking Mothra's butt. Luckily for the monster, Mothra gets back up and starts shooting lasers at Koji. What? I'm sorry, but that would have been terrifically useful a few minutes ago. With Godzilla temporarily immobilized under a collapsing building, Mothra takes a moment to approach her fallen adversary. What happens next is beyond esoteric, but I assume the good moth tried to heal the evil one. Of course that Koji interrupts the whole process, and would have finished Mothra for good wasn't for Mothra rising once again to help her. In an extremely interesting development of the plot, both creatures seem to come to an understanding that maybe healing and protection is a better alternative to outright purge. I mean, that's my reading of the scene at least. I'm so drunk right now that I can't think straight. Still, that's an unexplored angle for adult Mothra, and a more nuanced conclusion than the ones from the other times when the series tackled so that's the reason Mothra didn't want to destroy the cosmos in the past. To kill them. Very clever movie. If it wasn't for the whole meteor thing triggering the plot instead of plain human action, I would certainly hold this film in higher regard. But as it is, you still have to sit in the corner with the rest of the Green Godzilla movies. The combined might of the two moths is enough to knock Godzilla down momentarily, allowing the new allies to grab their adversary. They carry Godzilla away to the ocean, right before he shoots Mothra one last time, bringing both of them down. Again. But Mothra is much smarter than the humans, because instead of just hoping for the monster to be dead, she uses her magic to seal Godzilla below the surface of the ocean. Even though the threat has been dealt with, Mothra can't stay around to celebrate, because Mothra had a mission to complete. Turns out a huge meteor much larger than the one from the beginning of the movie is heading to Earth, and if it hits, all life on the planet might be extinct. So it's Mothra's duty to carry on her friend's task, and she flies away from Earth while the heroes cheerfully wave at her from the ground. All of this despite of the massive destruction that nor she nor the fairies answer to, of course. Stop reusing jokes, it's not funny! Why don't you tell them to stop reusing the exact same shots and plot threads from 30 years before? Best. Proving that pandering to the lowest common denominator and following orders from heartless producers that only think about money does sometimes pays off, Godzilla vs. Mothra was the bomb. It was the second highest box office of the year of 1993 in Japan, being surpassed only by Jurassic Park. And overall, it remained as the biggest box office of the entire franchise, until Shin Godzilla took the title from it in 2016. Mothra, on the other hand, would finally receive her long-awaited solo flick in 1996, spawning a movie trilogy that would unfortunately prove to be a failure with fans of the character. I might talk about this some other time. And all of this happened thanks to a movie that pays homage to the series' golden age back in the Showa era. Godzilla is demoted to a tangential character at best, and the plot is as lighthearted and adventurous as it has ever been in days past. And for these reasons, this film is at times even sillier than the previous one, if that's possible. And not there's anything wrong with any of that, it's just that after 3 movies that built so much on the established status quo and went so far to give Godzilla a more grounded feel, this one seems like a step back. But hey, follow the money, I think. And what screams money louder than a 120-meter tall mecha with laser cannons mounted to its shoulders?
And all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you!